Hey, my true seekers, how are you doing? Welcome to Real Talk with your girl, Lady D. Guys, look, I have me a special guest. Well, she's not a special guest, man. She's home. Abiade. I think you guys had watched some of her videos. Make sure you go ahead and check it out, man. Very powerful spiritual woman that is in tune. And I got her back again, man. And I mean, guys, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So, how are you doing, Abby?
I am doing wonderful, my queen sister. I am well, um, getting over the flu. Praises be
Oh,
to Sunina Nini for the herbs and spices that helped me along the way. Um, Happy to be here again with you. Always happy to donate my time so that we can spread the word and we can spark minds and put persons on the right path. If it's even just one breadcrumb in their journey, it will
absolutely.
be worth it. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I am glad to have you here, man, because every time, especially when you and I get together, it's like you just sparks this fire, it's like iron sharpen iron. And I mean, you are so deep. And like I said, this right here, this is the end times where we believe that the Most High God, He's pouring out His Spirit upon all flesh, sons and daughters, because, you know, this is it, this right here is it. And one thing that I know when it comes to you, you know exactly how to tap in. And that's what I like about it. So, guys, if you're just coming on and the ones that's going to watch the replay, make sure you check Abby Abby. Tell them how they can get in touch with you, Abby Abby.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel, right?
Hmm.
It's Sonini Nanini Gateway Network. You can't miss it. You type it in, you'll pull it up, and that's where I put my content. My content is not consistent or daily or weekly. It's guided by the Spirit. So when the Spirit tells me, that's when I move. So you won't
Absolutely.
get flooded with a lot of content, but you will be flooded with quality content. So you can't miss it. It's let me get the I want to give the exact handle of it for
Hmm.
those who wish to
And I
locate
should have
it.
went ahead and put the link. Is any way that you can put the link inside of my comments so they can get it?
Oh,
Let me see if I
one
can go
moment.
ahead. Let me
Let me do that.
Yeah, see if you could do it
Yeah, I'm
so they
gonna
can
see if I
make
can
sure
do
that
it
they
for
follow
you.
you.
Right. And I attribute my depth to all the experience that I've had throughout my life, my upbringing. Nothing was by chance, nothing was a mistake. So, in my upbringing, like we've talked about this before, um, what I grew up as my parents. My paternal grandparents were what you call Rastafarian. My maternal family is what you call Christian. My background is that I grew up in Jamaica and then I migrated to the US. All those upbringing is what led me to where I am today. So I have to give
Absolutely.
for the path that my life took that led me here now being an available vessel for the Most High to use to do his bidding. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give
Absolutely.
you the handle right now for the YouTube so that um, let me.
You could see if you can just put it in the comments.
All right, let me. I'm going to send it to you and then I'm going to put it in the comments.
Okay.
One moment. Let
So
me just.
you sending it through my email?
I just send it to you in the chat right here in.
Oh, okay, in the private. I see. I
And
see.
I'm
So let me see
now
how.
get gonna grab it for
Yes, yes. I see it
the.
right now. I'm gonna go ahead
um,
and put
I'm
it
gonna grab it
in.
so that everyone has it.
Yes. Thank you. So let me go ahead and put this in.
That's right.
Okay, I went ahead and the ones that come on and watch the replay, they can go ahead
They
and
can, yeah,
click that link.
go over.
Yes, thank you very, very much. So, I heard that
So,
you went to Dr. Umar. You went and visit him. So how was that?
okay, so it was wonderful. It was exactly what I expected. It was more
Mhm,
than what I expected, actually. So
mhm,
that was a beautiful experience for me. It reminded me of other smaller events that I've attended back home in Jamaica.
mhm. So you
Because
saw
this,
him in Jamaica. You went and saw him in Jamaica?
oh no, I saw him here, but I remember previous
Okay.
growing up, I used to go to other events similar to that, and the spirit that Umar moves with is the same spirit that those other revolutionary kings move with. So it
Mhm,
was nostalgic for me when I went to see him, and it was beautiful. It was inspiring as well, and very revitalizing. So I really appreciate it. I mean, I agree. There's not one thing that was uttered by Dr. Umar to date
mhm.
that I disagree with. If there is
Absolutely.
something, if there is something that I disagree with, I haven't heard it as yet, just yet.
Absolutely. And what I
Wow.
like about him, I like about him is that he does not jump on the bandwagon, and
Nope.
he is not the type of person that is in what I call this Western, society where
No.
you're going to everything that they say, you're going to go along with it. He's like me, where he goes against the grain, and he's a critical thinker. And that's what I like
Yes,
about Dr. Umar. I can watch him all day. And before
I
you
can
came on,
too.
that's who I was listening to.
Yes. The
I
beautiful
wish I had
thing
a
about
picture I
him,
could put up.
I know, right?
Mhm,
The beautiful thing about him is that he stands firm on truth, right?
mhm.
And I like to read comments. So when I find an interest or someone that I want to hear what they have to say, whether I agree or not, I go to the comments. And I spend more time in the comments more than I do even listening to the person, because that gives you a feedback of how the information is being received, and you get to see
Absolutely.
the level of zombies that we're dealing with in this day and this age.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead
Right.
and holler at, I see my Meissen came in, Starbucks lover and country girl say, "Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Talk with Lady D." My girl country girl says, "Good morning. Happy motivational Monday, Lady D and chat." Thank you
Oh,
guys. Thank you
yes.
for coming on. And guys, look, welcome to my little guest. Abby. I mean, guys, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. I mean, she's very knowledgeable and she is in tune with her spirituality. So, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe and share these videos for more unapologetic content. Also, I went ahead and I put my Cash App up, guys, and make sure you go ahead and check that out too as well. Cash App Real Talk 985. If you are getting fed, guys, and if you like this content, make sure you go ahead and hit that cash like button. So go ahead, continue, Abby.
Yes, my queen sister, thank you all for joining. I pray that your channel grows to the hundreds of thousands, into the
I
millions,
receive it.
because,
Thank you
and
very
I
much.
pray that each and every one that joined, their life is changed, and that predominantly it is our people who have been asleep, who have been abused, that have been neglected, that have been damaged, that they are here on your platform and any of other king or queen platform that speak in truth, so that they can come into their own, they can wake up and they can heal from the trauma. Because that's the thing, the trauma that we suffered for
Absolutely.
400 years, for that 400 years, that trauma that we suffered has not been tapped into to start the healing process. And that is why we have men and women that are so damaged that we can't even build a community, that we're so fragmented, that we're so scattered, and that every other group of people can, in some shape or form, they have a foundation, they have certain rules and guidelines that they don't violate in name of building their own, but we don't have it. And even those of us that try or attempt to start it or speak about coming together, it is viewed as racism, it
Hmm.
is viewed as something other than righteousness. It is viewed as something other than doing good for your own. We, for instance, there's a situation about what's happening in Israel, and so forth, and you have a lot of us that come out in support for or against one side, but then we forget that the things that are happening in the Middle East
Absolutely,
have
absolutely. Hold your
happened to.
thought 1 second. Hold your thought 1 second. Let me go ahead and acknowledge Country Girl Queenie. Thank you for the Cash App, Country Girl. She sent me a generous donation. Thank you very, very, very much. And I pray that it falls on good grounds. Double it, portion, right?
Hallelujah.
Yes, yes. So continue, continue.
Right.
I
Right.
pray.
So when any situation is happening, like what happens in the Middle East that is ongoing right now, we as a community, we the Bantu, we what some will call black, some will call indigenous American, the true Native American, we'll call ourselves Moors, we'll call ourselves Africans, we'll call ourselves African American. It doesn't matter. Once you have that nappy hair and that nose and that black don't crack, we will come out in a multitude and we will support for or against anything to do with any other nation. But we forget that the problems, the atrocity that is happening in these places have happened to us, is happening to us, and will continue to happen to us. And no one will rally around kings like Dr. Umar because, oh, we disagree with something that he say. He is trying to talk about separation. He's trying to fight against all people is the same and these stuff. But we miss the foundation and the message, which is we need to come together. We need to be
Absolutely,
one. Or else,
absolutely.
what we don't realize is that if we continue on the path that we're on, we are going to become an extinct species.
Mhm. So do
That
you
is
think that they are afraid of us coming together? And also, you talked about the damage and the trauma. Why, when we start acknowledging, all the stuff that we have been through, why, they tend to turn it around on us, as if, we can tolerate all the stuff that is going on when it comes to our people, and why we would rather, throw them straight into prisons than build hospitals, things that's going to help rehabilitate our people.
okay. So what we're not realizing the grand plan that is going on. The plan which was agreed upon by all the other races, all the other subgroup. It doesn't matter what they want to name themselves as. The agreement, right,
Hmm.
was that the blacks, the indigenous, the ancient people, the carbon beings of ancient time needs to become extinct. We need to wipe them off the face of the earth. That is the plan
Hmm.
because we are a danger to their survival,
Hmm.
because we are kissed by the sun, right? Our
Hmm.
hair defy gravity. Our hair is our true antenna,
Can
right?
we talk about the hair, because that's a big identity crisis also when it comes to the black community, how we hate our hair because they told us that, our hair, it's not what considered as a standard. So tell us how powerful the African hair is and the reason why it sticks up, and the difference between what's laid down. And that's what we like. We like the hair that lays down.
Right. So everything is an agenda. No matter how simple it looks, doesn't matter where it appears to be directed at, the true target is us, right?
Mhm.
Our
Mhm.
hair is not hair, they have hair, right? What we have are antennas. This is what you call wool. We have wool on our head. It is not the same as any other species because they're a different species from us, not because they stand
And we're gonna
upright.
try to keep it, where we could be able to, adapt to everybody. Because even though you are very, very deep, this may be our platform, but this is not our house.
That's right,
So we
right,
got to be careful because there ain't no such thing as freedom of speech. But just bring it to us.
right. So we have what you call their hair is like nerve endings, right? It's
Hmm.
what you use to interact with the environment, the sun, the moon, the motion of the ocean, the other realms like your ancestors, your spirit. So when you put chemical in it, when you do anything when, to your hair, other than just caress it, take care of it, then you're damaging your connection to the spiritual realm, to the creator, to
Absolutely.
your
Absolutely.
ancestors, and to yourself and your environment around you. And we're the only one that have that. There's no other species that has that. We
Hmm.
have wool. We have antenna, a spiritual antenna that connects to the universe. The melanin in our skin is the most valuable source, resource on the planet. It's far more valuable than gold. It sells
Wow.
for more per ounce than gold, right? We have far more billions of cells in our body than any other species, right?
Wow.
And that's these are scientific facts that if anyone want to go and research it, it's not going to pop up when you just type it in Google because it's being hidden. Other things are being thrown on top of it. So you have to actually invest time and go and research these things and confirm it for yourself. But there was a bunch of universities that came together across the world, from China all the way to the US, everywhere, and they did um, s- their experiment, their testing, their analysis, and they confirm all the things that I'm saying here, right?
Hmm.
We have 9 strands of DNA. Everyone else have 6, which is
Hmm.
one more than the animal, which is you can talk about your chimpanzee and so forth. So there's a
Hmm.
thin DNA strand difference between us and everyone else.
And let's talk about that part right there. I want to, because see, we also, you and I, we've been dealing with Stockholm syndrome and also identity crisis, because that is really bad when it comes, to the African, community. With our community, those are what we deal with. We deal with Stockholm syndrome and also identity crisis. And guys, she and I, Abby, we had made some videos talking about all this right here. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. And I used to get very offended, when people, used to put us in the same category as chimpanzee, and some of them, especially I'm talking about the palm people, they used to use that, just to get up under our skin. But when it comes to the chimpanzee and African American, it's two different corners. We don't even have the same DNA. Our DNA is not even close to a chimpanzee. Now I can't say about any other race, but I'm talking about the African race.
That's correct because the idea is the manipulation, the lie is to have us think that we spring up from the same place as everyone else.
Hmm.
When the truth is we are ancient, we are everlasting, we've been here for eons, while everyone else have been here no earlier than anywhere from 6 to maybe 10 or 12,000 years,
And that's
right?
the thing that that's a part that I just don't get, because see, some of us, especially when it comes to our people, we don't like to do research. We rather hear they say what it is, it settles, it becomes Bible. But the way that we talk is like we just began during slavery, but
Mm.
our DNA, our ancestors goes back millions or even billions of years, right?
Right, we're a spiritual being having a physical
Mm-hmm.
experience, right? We're not like a spirit that has a we're not like a body that have a spirit. We're a spirit that have a body. We're experiencing this, and we've had many experiences across many realm, many dimensions, and in many different shape or form. Energy is never never dies. It's never
Mm-hmm.
destroyed. It's only change. It's the same thing with us. We never die. We change, but we never die. We are forever. We exist for all of time, right? And
Hmm. So
time
let's talk about
is
that. We never die. So when you say never die, would we come back into another form, or as I believe, the spirit, is eternal and it's everlasting.
the spirit is eternal and it is everlasting, right? So even when you
Hmm.
no longer have this physical body, you're still existing. You are still alive. You're not dead, if you get what I mean. The,
Yes.
and that's only to us. The others, their existence is from a lower place. And when you leave this body, you go back to where you originate. And we originate from above, from the stars, the moon, the sun. That's where we're returning. When they die, they go to a place that is of death. That's a low frequency. That's the
Hmm.
hell. That's a true hell experience for them,
Hmm.
right? So when they talk
So
about
we talking about our people. So how do we tap into that energy where we won't have that low self-esteem? Because we think, because it been beaten into us that we forever at the bottom. Hi Peach. Peach say hi, Lady D. How are you doing? And guys, make sure you click on that link and check out Abiade. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. uh Go ahead, Abby. How could we tap into that? Because now it's like we are the ones that's working on that low vibrational, where we are the ones that's tearing each other, where now I'm at a point right now where I say it's no more excuses, especially when it comes to our people.
okay, so basically, there's a few things that need to occur for us to rise. And the first thing we have to know is that an individual, one of us, cannot rise. An individual, a few of us, or group of us cannot rise to our fullness. It's every single one of us that has to rise together as a group.
So
It's
we
not
got
something
to, you talking about we have to all come together
we
and rise
all
together?
have to come
What
together.
about the ones that does not want to be a part of it? So we supposed to wait until they, get it together?
So the beautiful thing about it is that those persons will basically self-destroy. They'll go through self-destruction,
Wow.
if you get what I mean, right? So those who don't want to move forward or grow or return to the state that we were, they will self destruct, just as how everyone else will self destruct for fighting against us, for keeping us down, for doing the things that they do to us. So they will be counted, the few of us that will not wake up and return to their original God and goddesses state, they will
Hmm.
self destruct with the enemy. So the idea is
Wow.
it's not 100 of us that's going to return to the state. It's not an individual concept, right? An
Hmm.
individual cannot move forward. It has to be the collective because our minds are connected, our spirits are connected,
Hmm.
right? So, and that is why we're going to have perilous times because there
Wow.
has to be a cleansing of everything that is fighting against nature, that is fighting against the universe, that is fighting against righteousness, that need to
Hmm.
be cleansed. And those spirit, those souls will have to return to the ancestors, and then they can emerge as part of the one, as part of that unit that we were, to the point where we don't even have to speak. We can communicate
Wow.
without speaking literal, because right now I won't be able to understand you unless you speak, or you won't
Mhm.
understand me unless I speak. That wasn't our state. Our state is we were able to interact and communicate with each other. We still have fragments of it, though, right?
Mhm.
But it is so limited and so scattered and weak that it's almost like if someone is able to do that, it seems like they have some magical power, when that's not
Wow.
the truth, right? So it's a
So that's why
collective.
they say the black man and the black woman is like magic. So that's why it says that, because when we together, it's like we give each other energy, right?
That is true.
And
So
they know that
they
connection.
know
So that's why they try to always keep us apart, fighting with each other, because they know if we come together, we can break down walls, right?
that. Listen, if we come together, it's over for everyone.
Wow,
You don't know
absolutely.
how terrifying that is. And the only way we come together, we have to get to a place, every one of us, all of us need to get to a place where the things that like Dr. Omar speak of, we cannot fight against it. We can't disagree with it, because he's not speaking lies. He's speaking truth, right? The
Mhm.
hardest thing for anyone is the truth. So if something is easy, or if you see yourself, okay, I agree with this, then it is flawed. There's something wrong there. It's the things that hurt, it's the things that burn, it's the things that make you scared, worried. Those are the things that you have to really delve into, because there's truth there. So a lot of the stuff that Dr. Umar speak about, a lot of our brothers and sisters will fight against it, but they're fighting against it because of their conscience.
Mhm.
Right? You cannot mix gold with plastic. That's what we're
Wow.
doing. That's what Dr. Umar is saying. You with your melanin, doing this interracial stuff, you're diluting what you have.
Mhm.
You're weakening yourself. You're weakening your lineage. So why
Wow.
would you want to do that? No one has prime resources and mix it with something weaker.
Mhm.
You want to avoid that, right? So during slavery, they tried to say that they tried to flip it on us and say that they are the ones that is a pure one and all of these stuff. But that's
Mhm.
not true, because in ancient time when they start to spring up over the place, we were the one that was not mixing,
Mhm.
right? And just like the sister said, it's like oil and water. That is the same thing. It doesn't mix, right? So when you put oil and water together, there's going to be problem. They cannot see
Mhm.
your struggle. They cannot feel our pain. They cannot feel any compassion towards the struggle we've been through. Only each other will comprehend it,
Mhm.
right? But there's some of us that just want to be a pet. That's what I
A
call it.
pet.
You
A
want to be a
pet.
pet,
So we
right?
got a lot of pets walking
We
around.
got a lot of pets walking around, right? And that's all we will ever be to these other people. It doesn't matter how much they say, oh, but my husband or my wife is, and I love my husband or my wife. You love your pet too. You love your
Absolutely.
pet too, don't you? But even though you love your pet, you will eat chicken, right? You will be
Mhm.
so hurt by anyone harming a dog or a cat, but you're not hurt by harming a cow, a goat, a sheep, the chicken. They all have the same life, right? And I'm not
Wow.
saying this against person who eat meat. I'm just trying to show the bias in the mentality,
Mhm.
right? You can't be for animal safety and non-cruelty to dogs and cats, but you're not for it for cows and for chickens and for other animals that you eat at your dinner table.
Look what my sister say. In other words, a lap dog. She catching on. Like I say, when it
Yep,
comes to Abby, she is
exactly.
very deep, very, very deep. I love. I could listen to Abby. I could listen to you all day. All day,
Exactly.
I can listen to you.
She is right. A country queen, girl queen, queena, you are right.
Mm,
It's a lap dog, right? And it's like it's something. It's having something exotic in your house. That's how we are viewed when we are with. when we're married to, right? Or we're
Mhm.
friends with, or whatever role you play in their life, we're an
Mhm.
exotic animal, right?
Wow.
That's beautiful to have and look upon. But at the same time, you're jealous of that very animal for the beauty
Mhm.
that it beholds, for the power that it contains. So you want to cage it. You want to keep it
Mhm.
caged, right? So that you can
Yes.
have power over it, right? And they also know there's something happening in subconscious on their side. They know that the sun is going to be turning up soon,
Wow.
right? And
Wow.
they know the only way to survive is to have offspring with us.
Wow.
So what they're doing is a self-preservation step. They don't love you, not the way
Mhm.
that we're supposed to be loved, right? And we talk about black women this, black women that, or black women say black men this, black men that. But it's what you suffer from the years of atrocities that you go through for centuries. That is what is happening to us. That's why we're broken. What we need to
Mhm.
do is heal that, because turning to others will not fix the issue. Turning to others
Mhm.
will just dilute who you are and make you become non-existent. We need to
So how can we switch it around? Because as we all know, especially, everybody say, well, what is the solution? We got, all the we know exactly what we're dealing with, but we don't have the solution because we already know most of this stuff is they call they say that we brainwash each other, but they done brainwashed us.
exactly.
So we are the ones that's suffering with an identity crisis. That's why when I hear, especially some stuff that I am talking about right now, which I'm not going to bring it on this live right here, but dealing with some stuff that I've been doing a lot of videos about, they are quick to say that people are brainwashing, their own people, not knowing that we already brainwashed. How can the brainwash the brainwash? Make it make sense.
Exactly. We cannot, anything that is for our upliftment, our growth, and our development is not brainwashing. Brainwashing comes from something external that has nothing to us,
Hmm. And
right?
what you think about what Peach says? And I
Okay.
want to get back to what we talked about, but I see where Peach said, "Hey, lady, I'm indigenous, but I'm not black woman, so I'm going to respectfully step away. I will tap in next time. Peace and love to you all." And see, that's the part.
Okay.
I remember Dr. Umar was talking about the same thing too, where we adapt to everything else besides
Yes.
who we are.
Yes. So my queen sister Peach Tea, saying indigenous is the same thing like saying black. It's no difference.
Absolutely,
There's not
absolutely.
one difference in it, right? Saying indigenous, it's the very same thing. It's still a word that they have in their English language to refer to
Hmm.
persons that are here. Saying black, it's the same thing. When you say that you're black, right? You are saying that you're indigenous, right? You're
Absolutely, that's
saying
it.
you're saying that you're ancient, that you've always been here. It doesn't matter. It's like it's the two side of the same coin. So if you're against saying black, then you should be against saying indigenous as well.
Hmm.
Right? And we are the indigenous people of the earth. We are the indigenous.
Absolutely.
We are the only indigenous people of the earth, regardless of where you claim to be from. And all the indigenous people of the earth, their origin is still from within the center of the earth, which is Africa.
So you
Right.
think that's why we can't get along because we wants to call ourselves something but really don't know the definition behind it. Now by Peaches
Right.
saying that she's going to walk away quietly, which is her rights, but by she using indigenous, she fighting something that is really us.
Right. So she's
You
fighting.
know,
She's
she
fighting
fighting
for
herself.
being referred to as indigenous. I'm just assuming because she
Yeah,
didn't
because a lot of people have a
elaborate.
problem saying black because black
Yes, she
really is
didn't.
not a race. Black is a color, but like I
Right.
said, we're gonna
Exactly.
play along with it because
Right.
even you don't even like to go in that
I
category
don't like
saying
the word
black.
black either, but the
So
community.
like I say, she's missing
Right.
out.
She's missing out a whole lot.
Yeah,
But you
she
have to
missing
let
out
them go. You have to let them go to their
and
own
learn
demise.
themselves.
Right.
Yes.
They will there one of two things will happen. Either she's gonna come to a self-realization later on, right?
Hmm.
If she's worthy of it, or she'll be left with a reprobate mind. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
because when
Like
me and you
you
first got together, you already said, when I say black, you don't like to be labeled yourself as black.
said, don't.
So, like I said, people are so quick to sit there and rush to
No,
judgment,
but
and that's what I don't like.
I will never not have a conversation just because someone is using the word black, right? But I
Yes.
will, I will correct them. I will say I don't like using the word black, but I'll use it for conversation's sake, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I use is that we are nine ether carbon beings. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we are, right? That's what make you a god. That's what make you a goddess. That's what make you a child of the supreme creator of the universe. And we are the
Absolutely.
only one that falls in that category. So I won't use indigenous. I won't use black. I won't, but I'll have the conversation. But I personally don't submit myself to those terminology, right?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't elaborate, but she might be one of those um, Black Americans that claim that they're indigenous to America and their
Mm-hmm.
ancestors are here and this and that, and America is the holy land and all these stuff, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
Not
never
knowing that, not
right,
knowing that the entire planet belongs to us
right,
from the beginning. We've been here
exactly,
over billions of years. And see,
right. You're
and that's why, see, stuff like this is not going to run fast because our people still have this European mindset
right,
instead of just waiting it out. Because like I said, when they say it, it is Bible. Because like I said, it's got to start. This conversation is much needed, especially when it comes in our community, with our people. It's much needed because we so quick to be how I say we offended, offended by certain things. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. You don't know who you are because you were stripped of all that.
right. So what she does not realize, or persons like yourself don't realize, that what she's trying to hold on to is the backup agenda for the awakening. So when we
Hmm.
wake up to the truth, they have to have something in place to keep you asleep. So they have this mentality where we definitely don't want them to come and claim Africa, because
Hmm.
Africa is the prime real estate on earth, and it has all the most concentration of resources. So we're going to make sure when they wake up, they think that America is the only land, right?
Yes.
They fight for it. And we'll also make them think that in the Middle East, where is also the Holy Land, and they think
Hmm.
that they are Black Hebrews. So they have about 10 different um, roads for us to walk down to avoid us walking down the right path. So we'll spend
Absolutely.
time bickering about which one of these 10 paths is correct, while
Hmm.
these are just backup agendas that they've put in place to
Hmm.
keep us busy while
Hmm.
the awakening is happening, to make sure that very few walk down the right path. We don't care
Absolutely.
we don't care what you want to address yourself as. You could call yourself Chinese. You could call yourself European. I don't care what you want to address yourself as. If when I look at you, I see nappy hair. I see deep concentrated melanin in your skin, whether you're
And
fair,
that's what they don't like.
yeah, whether you're fair skinned, you could be brown, high color, red, whatever they want to call it. If I look at you and that I see that African nose, that African lip, and I see the African hair, and I see the skin, your skin color. It doesn't matter if you call yourself Chinese, if you call yourself indigenous, if you call yourself Polynesian. At the end of the day, our phenotype tells us who we are, tells us what
Absolutely.
species we are from, right? And all the names
Absolutely.
we've been addressing it as is the names that they give us. And that species that we are of is the ancient species.
Mhm.
And no other species is a subgroup of us. They didn't come from us.
Absolutely.
Don't let them lie to you. They
A
did not come from us. There was no migration out of Africa, out of wherever, and then the skin got light because of the environment and the DNA alter and change, and then now they look like
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
And what we're going to do is, like I said, you got to we're going to realize and take in consideration that, you know, some of our people, they still on milk, and
yes, yes,
we're not going to expect, just like a infant. You're not going to feed an infant meat when that infant, cannot digest meat. So we're
right,
going to take consideration, because just like you had said earlier, our people are still sleepwalking, our people are still asleep, and that's why when you talk about stuff like this, it's like it makes their ears bleed. But whether you ready or not, this is going to happen. It's coming.
right.
So,
There's a few
you
things.
just got to be ready. But,
Right,
we understand that, it's just like riding a bicycle. We're not going to expect you to just pick up that bike, without training wheels, when you never rode that bike before. So we're
right,
not going to give them too much. But because we already know, when it comes to our people, what our people are suffering with, and our people are suffering with identity crisis. We are suffering with Stockholm syndrome. And
right,
that's why, when the minute the people, especially our people, people that is woke and truth tellers, start saying certain things, they get offended, because
right.
it's like, something new. But like I say, this is the newness right here. This is
That
the
is
newness right here. We can't keep sugarcoating. We can't keep pacifying our people, especially when we still wants to be dipping and dabbing in the things of the world, don't want to
mhm,
wake up. So, like I said, ready or not, when you was a child, we treated you like a child, but we are talking to grown people.
exactly right, and they should know, and they should know better. So, like, I'm not attacking the sister, but like
Hmm.
persons with her mentality, those are the one that we'll just have to leave behind until
Hmm.
they're ready. When they're
That's
ready,
it.
the thing at the last minute of this awakening, you're gonna have a lot of persons like herself that
Yes,
will come running, and they're gonna like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize. Now I know,
absolutely.
right? And we have to leave them to their own journey, right? They're either gonna pass away not knowing, and when they're gathered to the ancestors, then the ancestors gonna um like literally give them a clunk in the head and said, didn't you see all the clues throughout your life that we were trying to send you, right?
Hmm.
So that's what's going to happen to a large portion of them. But then us who are here, that can see the path and walk the path and not afraid of what the truth
Hmm.
may be down that path, right?
That's
Because
it.
the truth, the real truth, is yet to unfold, because we all have the bits and pieces scattered among
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. But when each of us take our puzzle piece and we put it together and we look at what the full truth is, the beauty that it's going to have, and the way it's going to give us like this feeling of vision,
Hmm.
we're going to be in awe at it. We're going to be
So what
so,
we afraid of that unknown, right?
we're afraid of that unknown, right? And the reason why we're afraid, because deep in our DNA, deep in our subconscious, we already know, right? It's just locked because of this trauma that we're living through. It's locked
Hmm.
away, right? And we're afraid to explore it, to venture into it, to see the truth. So we get offended, we turn our back, we ignore it, we walk away, we hide, we find all kind of excuses. We're busy with our day-to-day life because we have to work, we have to do this. But the thing is, this is the awakening. This is not like our parents' time and our grandparents'
Hmm.
time when they were in shackles and chain, whether literally or mentally. The doors are open. The truth is out there for all to find, and each one of us have the spirit to piece together a little piece of that picture
Hmm.
and put it together. And we have to listen to that voice in our head that tell us where truth is, and tell us that, because it's hard, something that you know all your life, it's hard to let go of it. It's hard to
Absolutely.
it. It make you feel like you're alone, you're
Hmm.
free, you don't know where to go. And if what you always knew is not truth, then what is truth, right?
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And I like where Abby, she said that the door is open. So the door is open. It's up to you if you want to go ahead and walk in. And I don't know about you, but just look around, look at the state, look how everything it is. To me, we should be sick and tired or being sick and tired. And we already know every time when we had great leaders that come forth like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey, every last person they sat there and they took out because they don't want our people to wake up because they know the minute when we wake up, it will bring them to their knees.
Please.
Satan
Right.
kingdom is going to fall down and they don't want that. That's why they put us asleep with all this distraction, with all these reality shows, football, all this entertainment with these celebrities.
Yes.
They will pay Abby. They will
Mhm.
pay celebrities millions and billions of dollars just to sit there and continue distracting us because they know we are the type of people we mimic everything that we see. So if they can keep us distracted, then they can continue working overtime against us.
Right. And like I say, you asked earlier, what do we do now that we know what's the next step? Really and truly, the first step is to acknowledge and recognize Dr. Umar for who he is.
Mhm.
Just as how in back
Can you
in the
say the
day,
first step again? Can you
the
and
first
also we're gonna keep it in we only gonna be here no more than about 10 or 15 more minutes because we're gonna stay an hour. But also when you come back on, because I promise you, I love it. Not everybody is not gonna love it. And the reason why is because our people are still have this European mindset.
Mhm.
We look at all this material stuff, not knowing that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, but it's going to be some that's going to gravitate to this message. So when it comes to our people, Abby, our people, they would rather see something, because we all about imagery. And that's why they was able to trick us, with all these little white pictures with angels and white Jesus, because they know that it's all about an image. So if we see something, then we're going to believe. So what we're going to do, we're going to, instead of just talk, we're going to do a presentation so you could show them, because now you throwing out nuggets where you giving keys out right now. So the first one, what did you say?
Acknowledge Dr. Umar for who
Doc,
he is and what he means to our community.
and can I say this right here? Oh, you say number one, acknowledge Dr. Umar. And see, a lot of our people, they would try to find something to assassinate this brother,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to his school. Oh, he's
Yes.
he's a fraud. Oh, he's a scammer. See, all they doing is doing these palm people bidding. That's all they're
Yes.
doing, because they're not going to tear down their own people the way that we tear down our
Right.
people. And I say, you guys worrying about Dr. Umar's school, but this man is building the school by himself. People
Right.
that build school, they have a whole district, a whole team behind supporting them to build up a school, but he's doing it by himself while our own people putting their foot on his neck.
Right, that's correct. And once that's the first step. Second step, the reason why I make him the first step is because he embodies pretty much everything that we are supposed to
Hmm.
follow, believe, and work towards. The second thing is you want to spend every penny that you earn with only your people. So, those of us who like to go to the nail salon of this other group, make yourself uncomfortable, find a salon that has your people in it to do your nails. And even if they give you poor customer service, use them, right? And the time that you're in there doing your hair or doing your nail, you have a conversation with your
Absolutely.
sisters and say, hey,
Absolutely.
sister, I will continue to come. I will recommend others if you change this about your establishment, if I get better customer service, because I really don't want to spend my money with other people that are not spending theirs with us. And the only way I
Absolutely.
can continue to do that is for us to get on the same page and you give me the type of service that I would have gotten from these others. Because when we're in their salon and they're speaking their language, they are probably calling us monkey.
Hmm.
right? So we don't know what kind of service we're really getting because we can't hear understand their language. They're saying,
Absolutely. And don't
not
you know
just
I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for almost 30 years. And you are absolutely true. You know, we will pass up other people establishment to go to somewhere else, spend money. And even this is facts. This is true. Don't you know we spend billions or even trillions of dollars just on products and pouring it into other people communities, and these people is not going to pour it back into our community. And you
they
see,
don't.
this type of talking right here, they don't want to hear it because see, we are the biggest consumers. But the thing
Right,
about it is that we pour into others. We don't pour into
right.
self.
We are consumers, we are not producers. And that's the third
Absolutely.
thing. So, the second thing, we need to spend our money with only us. We don't have enough to share with others. So, it doesn't matter
Hmm.
how great whatever product you think it is, because that's a whole different conversation, or whatever service you think it is. Go an extra 2 mile, 3 mile, and find yourself a sister, find yourself a brother. And even if they're giving you poor service, it's better you leave that one and go find another. But don't do that until you try to correct it for them. Speak to
Hmm.
them. Say, hey, the service here is not, and don't be aggressive. Just say, I really want to return, but the service, this situation happened and the service wasn't good, right? But if you can fix that, I will support your business, right?
Absolutely.
And they
And
don't.
don't ask for discounts, you know, because we tend, you know, especially when it's black establishments,
Mhm.
when we go into certain businesses, we want discounts. But when we go into their establishment, we going to pay the full price.
That is correct. And also remember, they have the power, they have all the wealth, so they can make things more affordable. Until we build ourselves up to a level, then ours are going to be a little bit more expensive, right? If it's a necessity, you have to buy it, even if you have to pay $1 or 2 more. If it's not a necessity and it's a little bit too much, then you might only do it once or twice rather than, let's say, you'd have done your nails every month, but going to a sister will only make you do it 9 months.
Mhm.
Sacrifice that extra 3 months, just, and that will be a contribution towards building your community. And then the next thing you need to do is to also become a producer, provide something for your community that is of value, right? So
Mhm.
whether you decide that I'm going to open a store, a school, whatever it may be, just as Dr. Umar is working on the school, someone else needs to be working on a hospital, or a clinic,
Absolutely.
or a supermarket, and we need to, or a bank, and we all network as one. So we all are part of the same network, right? And we share each other business information to help each other gain clients and customers from among ourselves, because they're not going to come spend it with us, right?
Mhm.
There's only us that we have to rely on, right? No, everyone else, all the other groups are going to go to Walmart, right? But if
Mhm.
we decide that, hey, I'm truly going to be for my people, support your own small person. Even if you can't start now with everything, start with something. Take one thing out of your life and say, from now on, I'm only going to do this thing with my own, right?
Mhm.
And
So,
from
in other words, we are not good stewards when it comes to money. And also, how do we keep the ones that really don't have our best interests? How do we keep them out of our community because they are in our community with, you know, with stores and all these liquor stores and now this marijuana dispensary all in the black community. How do we keep them out of our community? And not only that, we got people, immigrants, you know, they bringing them in illegal, but the thing about it is that they are dumping them into the black
Mhm.
community.
Right. How we're going to address that is simple. Someone here on your platform is going to have to take the responsibility for their community. So let's use sister country girl Queena. In our,
Hmm.
let's say she living in one of our communities, she will have to say to herself, I am going to make it my responsibility to bring my community together, because Dr. Umar cannot bring all the communities together on his own. It's
Mhm.
us who have to do it. So each person say, I'm going to take that responsibility. I'm going to find where in my community is there a black owned kung fu or karate or taekwondo school, right? See if I can talk to that brother or that sister and get that place as a local area that we can meet as a community and start to have meetings and discussions, right? And say, how
Mhm.
can we improve ourselves? How can we maintain control over our community? How can we make sure that the influx of other groups that are coming in does not push us out, right? And make
Mhm.
us better. How can we deal with the violence, the black and black violence in our
Mhm.
community, right? How can we get our men, a group of our men, we don't need all of them, just a few, to see if they can reach these youths and make them see life in a different way, where that energy that they take to tear down their old people, they use it to make a protective group that is almost military like, that's going to protect us.
Mhm.
And how do we make sure that we raise funds so that these youngsters can change from a life of crime to a life where they
Mhm.
can learn something, whether they learn a skill and we support him and so forth. It's going to have to really start with us getting our hands dirty and on the
Mhm.
ground. It's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but we have to
And
be
putting
willing.
in the work, putting in the work.
Just as how in the early 1900s, our ancestors, our great grandparents, they went in and they did the work with Marcus Garvey. They did it with
Mhm.
Martin Luther King. Why do we think that right now? Because it's technological age and it's modern time and it's now 2024. Why do we
Mhm.
think we don't have to do the grunt work? Because we, or when our ancestors, grandparents, and great grand died, the grunt work stopped. So we're not really at the place where we should be living a modern life. We need to still
Mhm.
be out there in the fields, on the battleground, building each other up as if we were back in shackles and chain trying to protect our own. We haven't
A-
left that stage yet because the button was dropped. The button dropped,
Absolutely.
right?
Answer what Queenie said.
Uh, yes, we have to heal before we build, but we are running out of time, so we have to do it
So we in a
simultaneously.
limited time. We in a this right here is like a 911, right?
Right. What we've the first step in healing is knowing what went wrong. And we know that. We know
We know
that
what's went wrong.
we know what
Wrong.
went wrong. So we need to
Mhm.
heal. And how you're gonna heal also, you're gonna heal by doing,
Wow.
right? Because if you just how are you gonna heal? There is not enough Dr. Umar to take everyone through a therapist session to heal
Mhm.
us. Right? So we're gonna have to do the work of healing. And we're gonna have to do part of that healing by doing, by literally building the house that we want to live in. And then
Mhm.
we can look at the house and see the accomplishment and feel good. And that will start the healing process. So you first
Wow.
you get the knowledge, right? I think enough of us have the knowledge. And each of us have the leadership skill to be the one
Mhm.
that's going to start the healing. So the same, you find a place in your community and you gather there and you'll have therapy session. You find a therapist, right? And then
Mhm.
you say, okay, the therapist is going to meet every Tuesday at this time so we can heal
Mhm.
from our trauma, right?
And
We're
let
going
me
to,
let me say this right quick. And we got 3 more minutes, okay? Because like I said, I want to make sure I get you back. Okay, we got 3 more minutes. Okay, let's talk about therapy because especially when it comes to the black community, I'm talking to and this right here is for my people. Okay, we talking about our people.
right.
Let's talk about therapy because we think that it's a taboo to go to a therapist.
Oh, yes. But we have always had therapy in our community. But
Mm-hmm.
the format that it's in now is not how we did it, right? Our format is that the women in our family was our therapist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the women in our friends group was our therapist, right? And that is why we always aim to be righteous, to be good, to do good, so that we can be a pure vessel to be that therapist for the next sister, for the cousin, for the uncle, for the aunt, and for
Mm-hmm.
everyone in our community. We've always been a case where if something is happening in your life, you can go to your grandmother and sit and talk to her, and she impart some wisdom to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. We have
I
always
like
been
that.
doctors. We
I
have
like
always been
that.
healers, right? Because we have always healed ourselves in the formal or modern setting that a medical doctor is it would that wasn't the way it was, but we have always
Mhm.
been our own self healers,
Absolutely,
right? It
absolutely.
was
And
always a
and this and
comfort.
this right here, because you're so full, you are full. So this right here, this generation right here, it's not like the generation in our time where we used to sit under our grandparents, and get all
Mhm.
that wisdom. But these generation right here, they don't have time to sit under their grandparents because
I would
most
say
of their grandparents is as young as
they
as
are
being a mother, so they don't have that
absolutely
type of background no more. So now
true.
we got this, we got to learn to sit there and get back into some of those
Right.
traditional values.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Right. The traditional
And you
values.
can close it up, and you can close it up with
Yes.
whatever you have to say, and
Well, yeah,
we'll close it up in
that's beautifully said.
five
That's
five
beautifully said.
minutes here.
We have to, yeah, we have to get back to that traditional values. And I'm not speaking the traditional values of women being barefoot, pregnant, and oppressed. That's not because
Hmm.
that's not our culture. That was learned behavior. That's not us, right? We're of equal value in our community. And if anyone was going to be of more importance, it was going to be the mother, the woman, the bringer of life, right? Our men always cherish us and hold us to a higher place, right? And we were never abused, never neglected, never mistreated. We never do that stuff. That stuff is a learned behavior after
Wow.
our indoctrination. That's not our way. So there was never need for, oh, I need to be a feminist. Oh, I need equality for women. Women have always been unequal in sense of the men always give us more in our
Hmm.
community, right? So we need to get our men
Very.
back to that place and get ourselves
Absolutely.
back to a place. We need to get to a place where we can forgive our men for what the trauma we all went through, and our men need to get
Wow.
to a place where they can forgive us for the trauma that we've been through, because it's those trauma that led us to be damaged and led us to be hurting each other. And then now we feel like we have to go to other races to find the type of man or woman we need, when in reality, a lot of those end up where there's murder,
Wow. That's
right?
that's awesome. That's awesome. And Abby, look, I'm not going to sit there and I want you back. So I'm not going to misuse this
Yes,
time.
I'll
We
try
say an
my best to
hour,
find
and
more time.
yes, and I know you are full. You are full. And like I said, all I could say, he that have an ear, let him hear, because
Let him hear.
this is it. And the most high God, he poured out his spirit upon all flesh. And I truly believe this right here, the information is out. It's no more excuses. And as you can see, my sister, she can go on and on. She is full.
Oh, I
And
love.
I would like to make this right here, because to me, this is much needed, because we talk about all this other foolish stuff, but we don't have a solution, and we don't talk about what is going to better our people. I'm talking to my people, okay? So I would like to make this a part of the show, and I'm going to email you where we can go ahead and set it up, see when is the right time where you can come back, because this right here, this is to me, like I tell you all the time, this is good. Okay, so
Yes, it
what we're
is.
going to do is we going to get together. I'm going to email you, or I can message you, because you go to work at 12, right?
For today, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in touch with you, or just let me know what days, and we could come once a week or once every 2 weeks is available for you. Okay, and I can work around your schedule. Okay.
Yes, my queen sister.
And I thank you very, very much, guys. Make sure you go ahead and click on this link right here. Let me go ahead and post it again. Abby, go ahead and pronounce your entire name, because girl, I can butcher up some names, and I am not going to butcher up this queen name.
That is quite okay. It takes a little getting used to. Okay, so my name is
I know you had set it
Abiade
up. Mhm.
Ayaoba Olodomeri Tomi. I try to say it slower. Abiade Ayaoba Olodomeri Tomi.
And you, a lot of people, probably say, this is not an American accent. So tell them where you're original from.
Oh, I was born in Jamaica. But of
Hmm.
course, our origin and ancient state is in the center of the earth from Alkebulan, where they colonize and call Africa these days. And
Absolutely.
yes, to all the persons who believe they're indigenous, we are indigenous to the four corners of the earth. It was
Did you
just
hear
us.
that?
It
Did you
was
hear that?
just eons.
It's us, the only ones, and I know we can go on and on, but the
Hmm.
only ones that drew lines and maps was the Europeans, the
Yes,
colonizers. We
yes,
are from the four corners of the earth. So don't put yourself in the box because we are not in the box, okay?
right. So just call yourself indigenous to earth.
Yes, indigenous to earth. So don't get mad, my sister Peach. Don't get mad because you are absolutely right. It's just that you don't understand what it really mean because we are Alpha and Omega. We were here from the
Hmm.
beginning and going to be here
And
until the what?
after,
The end.
right.
Okay. So
Remember,
my sister, go ahead.
right? We are kissed by the sun.
Absolutely. We
We're
kissed by the
kissed by
sun.
the
One thing about the sun, when it hits us, it makes us glow. It does
glow.
not put
Hmm.
blisters, it does
Nope.
not put scars, and it does
Nope.
not burn us up. Okay. And we're going to
Nope.
close it down on that
Yep.
note right there. Like I said again, he that have an ear, let him hear what the
Same here.
Spirit of the Lord is saying, because in here is grown folks. We eat meat. We don't drink no milk. Ain't no
Yes.
pacifying, no babies right here because this is it.
Yep.
You had time. You had plenty of time. But now, like I said, the time is now. Either you're in or you're out, either
Out.
hot or you're
Hmm.
cold, but you cannot be in between because if you are in between, he will spew you out. This it. No more
Yes.
games. No more games. Okay. So thank you, my sister.
Hallelujah.
Thank you very much.
Hallelujah.
And I'm going to text you. Make sure you text me your what
I
days you
will.
are available, and I want you back.
Yes, my queen. I should be able to give you a new date by next weekend.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much here.
Yes. All right. Bye,
All
my
right.
queen.
Okay.
Bye to all of your
Okay.
viewers.
Yes.
Love you
Yes.
all.
I love you too. All right. Bye. So Queenie, look like Queenie enjoyed every bit of it. Every time when I talk to my sister, I mean, I have a smile from ear to ear because this is it, guys. I promise you, I don't give a care if it's one or two. He that have an ear, let him hear, because not too many people is going to gravitate to stuff like this because we still have that residue. We have that residue of this European standards, and we got to shake off of these grave clothes and come out of her because this is the time. The time is now. So thank you, country girl. Thank you for that blessing. For that cash app. Thank you very, very much. And like I said, I pray that the Most High God will give it back to you sevenfold, unlimited, shaking together and running over. So, guys, thank you for coming in. Make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content because in here is critical thinker. We do not sit in the box, okay? Because just like my sister said, we are from the four corners of this planet, and that's real talk. So, on that note, you be blessed.